You're listening to the Talking 20 podcast. This podcast is for you if you're in your 20s and you're thinking, what the hell am I doing? We've all been there and we want to talk about it. We're your hosts, Bridget O'Rourke and Mary Margaret Courtney, and we sit down with fellow millennials to chat about their journey and hear what they've learned along the way. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking 20 podcast. Today, Mary and I are just us. We've decided not to release an actual episode this week. We're going to record our own episode because we wanted to give you guys an update on our Tough Mudder training, which is going pretty well. How's it going for you, Mare?
The ball's rolling. That's
the ball is rolling.
That. It's hard. Like, I've been consistently exercising, but now also with like life picking up and things opening up, the balance is just getting harder. I think it's like a lull that I got to get over right now. Yeah. That's how I feel.
It's also just like getting over that like scared feeling. Oh, are you getting coffee delivered to you?
I am.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Barista Matt
made coffee.
Yeah, it's like getting over, I don't know if I'm kind of in a lull because I've started running and I just see how 15 kilometers is going to be so freaking difficult. Like,
but you can't start thinking about the 15K now.
I know, but this is where I'm at that like mental hurdle.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta let that go. Like, I posted about like, oh, however many more K to go. That was more so of like a joke. Because it's months away of training and you have to trust the process enough to know that even right now, if you're just consistently running 3K, that's something. Yeah. You're running every week. You're getting your body used to it. There's a weather change, like weather changes your running capabilities and capacity for breathing and all that jazz. So like, stop freaking yourself out with the 15K.
Yeah, but it's so many kilometers. So
we were recommended to run 20K before.
Right, which is another whole other fear. Yeah, but I found this great training program for running. Nike Run Club, very well known. But it's wonderful. Like, you put it in your ears, obviously, and as you're running, it's almost like a podcast mixed with like, you can mix in your playlist, so your playlist is playing in the background, and then this guy will come on and he'll talk to you. Every 5 minutes, he'll talk for like a minute, but he gives you like facts about running, and it starts you from the beginning, and it teaches you about running all the way up to running, 15, 20K. And he tells you like, this is what's happening in your body right now, and this is why you should be doing he mostly like teaches you how to run. So like, this is why you should be mixing in long runs with also short runs and speed runs and all this kind of stuff. Highly recommend.
Okay.
I've only done one.
But it helped.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, what I'm doing is I do that one for when I'm going on like long runs because he talks me through it. So I do a long run, as you mentioned, once a week. And then in between, I'm using Couch to 25K, that training program that kind of teaches you how to get off your couch and run 25K. Clearly.
Yeah. So where are you at with that? How many weeks are you in?
3. Like, I just started when the weather started getting better, but I started at like week 3 on the training program because week 1 was just too easy for me. But now I'm feeling like I'm kind of at speed of where I should. That's funny. At where I should be. Yeah. So I started on like week 3. So I'm on week 4
to put
now.
It into perspective, for some people, that program you're doing is terrifyingly hard. They do week 1 and go, I don't know if I can get through this. And they do. They get to the end of it and it's like, holy moly, like you went from couch to 25K. That's what you're doing on another level. So look at the fact that like you went into the first week and you're like, I'm already ahead. I'm already like, this is too easy for me. So stop worrying about the 15K because at some point you're going to be like, I never thought I'd run 10K and I'm running 10K. then you go to the 15. Like to me, like the 10K is my benchmark and it's the daunting number. Like doing, so I've said this on the podcast before, so I'm doing every 2 weeks going up by 1 kilometer. I started at 2 kilometers. So, and then I kept the 2 kilometers. So every time I go to the gym, I try at least once or twice a week. Sometimes it's every time I'm at the gym, which is 3 times a week or 4. It's all over the place. But I make sure I do roughly 2 kilometers on the treadmill, which for me is around like 14, 15 minutes. So I try to do it and like push myself, and I'll do like an incline and all that jazz. But then every 2 weeks I've gone up by 2 kilometers. I'm at kilometer 6 right now. And part of my brain is doing what you're doing, where it's like 20K seems daunting because I don't think I can do 10K. But already I'm like, but Mary, 2 weeks ago, the idea of doing 6K was terrifying, and you did it. Mm-hmm. It was hard, but I did it. And like, I remember the day I got to 4K and I stopped and I was like, holy shit, I'm so happy it's only 4K. Like I'm done. And then this week I was at 4K and I'm like, only 2K to go. And I'm like, Mary, like last time you couldn't do another step and now you're doing 2 more kilometers. Like remind yourself of your progress to help like tell yourself like, A, like the hard work is clearly working and it's pushing you further along. And then B, it isn't that scary because you've already accomplished the same fear already.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and then like you keep accomplishing that fear and you keep moving forward, but you have to remember where you're coming from.
Yeah, and it's always going to be scary because as soon as you go like, oh, I can already do the first 2 sessions of couch to 25 or whatever. That could have been scary at some point in your life. Like, oh, doing this every week just seems hard. Like we weren't always fitness people. We are not active people. This doesn't come naturally to us the way, like some people get into fitness and it's like they're high. It's their hobby. They love it. They start teaching. They take courses. That's not Mary and Bridget.
Spencer.
That's Spencer, right? That's my training coach, Bree. Like those people, that's my brother. Like they love it and it's like a huge part of their life, but like they enjoy reading books about it. They enjoy that part. They just get that one extra little thing that for us after like 2-3 weeks, we're like, okay, I'm over this. Can I be done now?
Yeah, I'm done. You mean I have to keep doing this every day? Yeah. I don't just do it once and let it go.
At some point in your life, years ago, you probably would have looked at now Bridget and been like, that's terrifying. I don't think I can ever get there. And now you're just consistently a strong, healthy person who does workouts at least once, twice a week. Like how often do you, before this training program, how often did you go at least once a week without working out in the past 2 years?
At least once a week without working out?
Or a week. You'd have a full week without working out.
Oh, like maybe 1 week if I was at a cottage or something.
Right. So besides that, if you went back to like 20-year-old Bridget,
I never worked out. Exactly. It was like every
so to say to work out
once
a week, you'd be like, that'd be awesome if I could get myself to once a week.
I could get myself
and look
to
at you now, like you just wouldn't happen. You wouldn't go a week without working out. And even now, I think if you went to a cottage, you'd be like, I really want to fit in like yoga or a walk or a hike. Like you need it. So like think of that. Like think of where you are now and the foundation you've already built, right? And don't stress about like this impossible thing that we may or may not get to. And the advice we've been given by more people than Spencer is we're supposed to be scared. That's the point. That's what keeps you accountable. And for me, I'm learning that it's like we have all these accountability programs now. People do like they go to in-person classes, online classes. Megan, who we have coming up, a future epi, she talks about like those accountability.
I think our next one. She'll be our next one.
She has done some training for me and she's been awesome. And she works on those creating accountability groups and different methods to like really keep people engaged in exercise. But for me, I'm learning that having that fear of not being able to succeed at it is like a deeper level of accountability, that if people can stop using it as a reason to not move and using it as the reason to move, it's like life changing. Like I think over time, I'm just always going to have these goals that I'm setting now that seem almost unattainable because it's super interesting to like discover and learn these new fitnesses and like things that my body can do. my boyfriend just said it. Bartender Matt said it. Like, Mary, you're asthmatic. You're running really well. If you weren't asthmatic, you'd probably be a really good runner. Right? But I was like, this is crazy. I just never let myself be a runner. I don't love it. I don't always enjoy it, but I never let myself try to do those things because I just said, like, I'm A, scared, and B, that's not what I'm meant to do. So I just put up that barrier and I never try to achieve that goal. Where now I'm starting to learn that that is something that I could have in my life and I could actually maybe be good at.
Yeah, which is a crazy thing because, yeah, I know what you mean where you just hate it. Like, when I'm running, the whole time I'm thinking, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. But then afterwards, I go into the mirror and I go, you did it. You did it. You got off your ass and you did it. And, like, I can see how that will become more appealing to me as time goes on.
Yeah.
And,
and also during the week, are you focusing on fitness training or strength training that's going to help you run better?
No. Should I be? Because I've been thinking about, like, I've been doing strength training and fitness training that's going to help me do the Tough Mudder. Not necessarily that's going to help me run better, but I guess that kind of goes hand in hand.
I think both. Like, I do, based on what my brother, so for any of the listeners, my brother's just done a crazy amount of fitness trainer. He's a firefighter. He's did paramedic school, and through all that, he's, like, done some crazy cool stuff. We really want to have him on the podcast one day. Mm-hmm. But he told me same thing, like, you want to focus on the things that are going to be Tough Mudder based, but that's all very upper body focused, like right. A lot of upper body and like crawling and pull-ups and all that stuff. But to prevent injury with running, you're going to want, especially for women, our knees, the inner knee muscle, like I don't know, and someone who knows anatomy is going to be like, Mary, you're saying this wrong, but there's
the inner knee muscle. The
inner knee muscle, but it goes across the top of your leg to your hip, I believe. But anyway, it's the muscle on the
this is so wrong.
I know, so good.
Somebody's going to, like, send us a picture of an anatomy and be like,
that's great.
Where is this muscle?
Teach me. But because we are meant to bear children, we naturally have loose, elongated muscles on the inner part of your knee. And so that's why, like, biking and doing exercises to strengthen our knee, the muscles around our knee is really important because it's easy to get injured. Super easy. Because that muscle wants to stay long and flexible to widen the legs for birthing.
Great. Which is a whole other thing that we'll talk about one day.
Yeah, that's also terrifying.
Whole other kind of training that we'll have to do.
One day I had to do a personal training session and it was really difficult. And at that moment, I knew that my best friend was in labor. And the whole time I was like, labor would be way worse. She's going through way more pain than you. You can do this. One more push because hers is way worse. I was comparing it to child labor.
That's funny. Okay, so what is your weekly training routine for Tough Mudder?
Interesting you say this because I think I'm going to start changing it. But what I've been doing since the beginning of February is Mondays are gym, and it is functional movement, which was what you and I did kind of sort of at the gym when you were up here. So overhead press, squats, I'm going to forget some of them. But so it's like you said, it's focusing on the muscles that I'll use for the Tough Mudder. And then I'm always adding in or changing up the exercise a bit so that the muscle isn't always doing the same thing. So sometimes I'll use the bar for the overhead press. Sometimes I'll use weights and I'll do them like isolated pushes. So that, it's just like always making my body guess what's coming next. I do rows, bench press, squats I said already, and then I'm trying to up my squats by using a resistance band around my knees. Bring it back to the knees.
Bringing it back to the knees.
So that's Monday. Tuesdays are my long runs. And then Wednesdays are yoga. And then I have to admit to you, I have yet to start doing the bear crawls and
You know, I
crab
was gonna
walks.
ask you this because this morning I was in a bear crawl position. I was like, I did this one time. I wonder if Mary's been keeping up with the bear
No,
crawls and crab
I
walks.
don't have a spot in my house to do it, and the gym doesn't have a great
Yeah.
like
Whenever I do
flow.
them, it just makes me realize how dirty my floor is.
That too. So I was
Crawling
like, you
through
know what,
cat
Mary,
litter.
this is yeah. This is something that, so eventually I want to get to a point where I'm doing either short runs and then I go to like a park and do monkey bars. That's my goal.
Yep.
So within that, I thought that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like add it into a day where I like go for a run and then I find a park or like a nice patch of grass and I do them there. There's lots of fields and whatnot. So I'm just waiting. I'm going to save that. And I think it's kind of nice because I'm going to get really bored of this routine probably as the season starts to change, which is probably why I'm getting that itch to do it now. But yeah, I just decided, I was like, Mary, just hold off. Also, I am struggling like between working. I have some nights where I've like pushed through and work late, but then I have other days where I'm like up super early and working. And it's not a crazy amount. Like, I'm not saying I'm like going insane, but I'm just noticing that I'm not recovering as well as I think I need to. I'm really tired. And when I mean tired, it's not like I just don't want to go and then I get there and I'm okay. Or it's literally like my body is like, I'm done. I'm shaking. Like I'm exercising and it's like a not very hard exercise and I can't finish it. I had to get Matt to help me. Like he was beside me while I was doing a bench press and he had to come lift the bar up and it wasn't that heavy. So I was like, I need something to change for sure. Like my body's not getting the right nutrition and the exercise I don't think is correct. But I mean, I'm also almost 8 weeks into this program that I've created for myself. So I'm trying to be kind.
We should have a nutritionist on the show to like talk us through how we should be nourishing our bodies throughout this
I've got a
training.
really good one in Orangeville. I could ask her. Her name's Kelly.
That'd be sick. I also
I'll
know
ask
of
her.
one that we could ask as well if
Ooh,
she
okay.
says no.
Okay. Well, let's do that. So yeah, that's Wednesdays, yoga and bear crawl. That's supposed to be like a recovery movement day. So work my body anyway. Sometimes I don't do yoga and I literally just do stretches because if I do yoga and it doesn't pinpoint the muscles I need, which is usually my legs from running, then I just do my stretching. Thursday is my early morning Pilates class where my ass gets kicked. It's so hard always. And it's, so that's my, like, you have to be up at 6, you have to have your protein powder and be there. And like, it's like the one day that's just like super hard and strict, but I get to 9 a.m. and I'm like accomplished.
Done.
I feel good. Friday and Saturday and Sunday are going to be a rotation of gym or rest, depending on weddings. So right now, because the weddings are a bit slower, I will go to the gym Friday, Saturday, rest Sunday, or I'll rest on the Saturday and go on the Sunday, depending on what Matt's doing. And it's all those same exercises I talked about, just kind of rotating. And then as you experienced, I've started skipping to try and get my endurance up.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
me.
Good program.
Yeah, what about you?
So I wrote this program. What I have been I haven't really been following a strict program. I kind of tried to follow along with yours. I actually went to the gym. I got a gym membership and I went this week once and I was like, I hate this. It wasn't like so Mary and I went to her gym, which is Headwaters Racket Club in Orangeville, Ontario, and we did some stuff and it was fun. It was like a cute little gym. There weren't a lot of people. It was a Saturday morning. It was nice. And then I went to this gym in Hamilton that's like cheap and I thought it's down the street and I thought this would be a good one to go to, but it was just like gigantic and there were so many people and it was just like I was there and I was like, I just don't feel comfortable figuring out what to do at the gym over the first couple times, especially when there are so many people and like COVID wise, it was like, I'm not the most comfortable. And yeah, so I just didn't like it. So I never went back and I was like, maybe I don't need to go to the gym because it was also, I'm very good at motivating myself to work out in my bedroom. And I was like, that's actually a skill that I don't really want to lose because like, I want to keep practicing working out in my bedroom. I noticed I was, like, losing time by driving to the gym. I was like, I would rather just wake up and do my workout and get it over with. So anyway, I don't think I'm going to go to a gym. Maybe that will change. I might go back to F45. I've been kind of thinking about. But anyway, I was following your program for a little bit. And then it was like I was changing some stuff around. But the other day I sat down and I actually like wrote something down for myself. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a 30-minute run every day because I'm like not, well, maybe not every day, but okay, I'll read you it. So on Mondays I'm doing, I'm just
already like, editing it. I've already convinced myself out of that one.
So yeah, I'm like, no. So on Mondays is the cardio day, so I'm gonna do a 30-minute run and 30-minute HIIT workout. Tuesdays are lower body days, so I'll do 30 minutes of lower body with Peloton and some dumbbells in my room, with 15 minutes of core and 15 minutes of yoga. Wednesdays I'm doing a full body 30-minute workout with Peloton and dumbbells plus a 30-minute run. Thursday is another cardio day, so same as Monday, 30-minute run, 30-minute HIIT workout. Fridays are upper bodies, so 30 minutes of upper body, 30-minute run, and probably like a core in there somewhere. And then Saturdays, wow, this is, okay, I'm reading this out now, I'm like, this is a lot, Bridge.
It's a lot to do for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, you could do that for 4 weeks. It'd be hard, but you could do it. But I think that's what I'm figuring out. Even mine, like some of mine have been like a little bit more relaxed, or I haven't like really pushed it. And I'm still just getting to a point where like I've upped some of my weight. I'm upping the time on the running, and it is exhausting and it is getting harder. So you might, and as like, we got to talk about this whole period thing, 'cause it's thrown, like your knowledge of it's way better than mine, but understanding your cycle and like when you're on and off, that you're not going to be able to sustain that through like a crazy busy work week and your period, and maybe you like really killed it 1 week and hammered it home, unless maybe you had a break in there. Like, it's like, do it for 4 weeks and then take a week off.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do 4 weeks, take a week off or something. Like I will go back and edit this as I go. This is more so like a let's try this and then we'll see how it goes. Anyway, Saturdays I'll probably do a rest day. I didn't put a rest day on here because I was feeling really motivated, but that will probably be a rest day because it'll also be weddings. And then Sundays I'll do a long run. So yeah, I'll probably edit it down as we go. I want to make sure that I'm doing like repeated exercises so I can actually track my progress, which I find to be very hard as somebody with ADHD. I just want to like get it done. I don't want to like count my reps. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to get it done and get it over with. So I am finding that really hard to like track my progress rather than just doing it.
I also find tracking your progress can be like really exciting and then really like disheartening, because I'm the same. Like I'm now tracking my weight and I'm tracking my progress of everything. And I used to just be in my little own illusion that it was just always getting better. And I'm like, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great, which is great because you get up the next morning, you're like, I'm fucking strong, let's go. Where now I'm like, oh, it's not moving the way I want it to. Yeah. Or even like just knowing the numbers. Sometimes you like go into the gym or like you do an exercise and you're like, I feel like I'm going down in progress, but it's just the way your body's operating that like that week you can lift a little less, or you can do like your energy's off or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like its own version of an exercise, just tracking it and having like the capability to talk yourself off the ledge and be like, you're still getting stronger, you're still doing better, because you actually have like the results in front of you rather than just assuming like, I worked out, that's good enough.
Right. Yeah. So I should start doing that a lot more. And like you said earlier, cycle, huge thing when it comes to fitness. I don't know the exact like, there's actually an app out there that will tell you what kind of workouts to do for what week of the month it is based on your cycle. Because I noticed like 2 weeks before my period, I cannot lift as heavy. I'm not as motivated. I don't have as much endurance. Like, there's a huge difference. It's actually it's the week after my period, I'm just fucking crush it. And then from there on, it just downhill.
I know, this is like, what is some sort of sick joke that we have to consider once a week minimum, a month, our bodies just go, fuck you.
It's so true. I'm not doing this today.
Yeah, well, and this happened to me last week, and I called you and we were talking, and I was like, I don't know what happened to me, man, but like I just threw, like I did some light workouts. I was at the gym and I was just like, I can't do it. Like, what's happening? And then you were like, oh, is it 2 weeks before your period? I was like, yeah. You're like, yeah, girl, you're full of hormones. I was like, God damn it.
You're like, tired. You're lethargic. Yeah, your body doesn't want to work.
Yeah, I was like irritated, and like I was at Matt's throat, and he kept saying like, I don't know why we keep arguing. And I was like, I don't know why either. And then when you said that, I was like, I'm almost 30 years old. I should know why by this point. But I don't.
It's a very eye-opening when you start tracking your period and you can realize, you know, it mostly just helps you feel better when you do feel grumpy and angry and stuff, because it just like gives you, you're like, oh yeah, there's a reason why I'm like this. I'm not just a bitch. Yeah, and I would
love to talk to someone who maybe specializes in like helping people through that, because
we should add that to our list.
Let's do it. Because I'm like, am I supposed to give my body that break? Or is it like just go through the motions? Yeah, like lighten your workout, but go still. Or like, do I need that sleep in? I mean, obviously we never need the comfort food that your body wants at that time. But besides that, I'm like, the rest and the recovery and not pushing myself. And Monday was better, but I was at the gym on Monday and my dad was there. We rarely run into each other. And I was finishing my workout and I was literally like lying on the ground. He came over and looked at me and I was like, I just can't do this. And he was like, I know, I have those days too. But in my head, I was like, no, you don't, 'cause you're a man and it's different. But it was me. I was like, is it different? Like, is that something where it's like, yeah, every person, male, female, whatever, goes through these like cycles in their body where their hormones or whatever is throwing them off. Like, what do you do in those times? It's obviously healthy to keep exercising and keep your endorphins up, but like, there's more to this for sure, and more to understand about it. And heaven help us if I'm 2 weeks before my period, the day of the Tough Mudder.
Oh my God, I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, what if that's like the week before my period? It's like all my progress will go out the window.
It needs to be the week after your period, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's the week it has to be. It has to be that week, and I'm gonna crush it. Yeah, no, but that's definitely something that we should do, is have somebody on the show to talk about that cycles and stuff, because that's something that you should learn in your 20s, and males can learn this too. They probably should, about how your girlfriend, your mom, well, maybe not your mom, that's kind of weird to think about, but like your friends, yeah, like how,
especially
like,
your mom
how
going
their
through
bodies
menopause.
work. Yeah, how their bodies work and what their cycles do to their bodies, so that you can understand it a little bit more, and understand that when your girlfriend's being a bitch to you, she has other shit to deal with.
Because her body's being a bitch to her.
Exactly.
It's not our fault. Well, also through me, because I, like, as a kid, I didn't understand cramps. I didn't understand mood swings. To this day, my parents will say, like, no, like, you didn't all of a sudden see, like, oh, Mary's on her period. It didn't ever come through. And now just there was, like, a turning point in my 20s where everything kind of changed in my cycle. Things got more painful, things got more intense, and then including the hormonal change. So I'm just not used to it. To me, I'm like, my period doesn't affect me. That's what the narrative is in my head.
That I feel the exact same, Mare. Like,
wow.
Growing up, it was never an issue. And now it's like, you know, I'm planning a trip, and the trip was the week we were gonna go, it was gonna be the week of my period. And I was like, can we go like the following week? Like, that's how much it's changed. But it's taken me so long to understand it, because before it was like just never made a difference in my life. Like, I was like, oh, period or not, I'm fine, I'm happy, I never get PMS. And now it's like really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And you're like, why?
Yeah, like everything was fine before. Exactly. It should be able to get better. Yeah, no, it's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I've got to jump off soon.
Yeah, let's wrap this baby up. So that was a good update on our Tough Mudder. That was something that we really wanted to make sure that we did on this on the podcast, on this progress. On the podcast, we really wanted to make sure that we were updating you guys and being really authentic with, hey, Mary's taking a video, and being really authentic with our progress. And that's why we wanted to jump on here this week and not put out an episode, because we wanted to make sure that you guys were getting the full update of like, we are posting these things. Mary's posting something saying she's running 6K. I'm posting stuff about working out every day. Like, we are posting those things, but there is a lot more going on behind the scenes. So we may look like we're crushing it, but
we're not.
After listening to this episode, you'll understand that like this is a struggle, and we hope that it helps you feel better about your fitness journey.
I'm excited to see where we land in a few months once we know our bodies and our structures and lifestyles a bit more. Like, both of us have already gone like 4 weeks in and gone like, okay, we got to adjust and change. So it's exciting to just like learn these things about ourselves and hopefully find what's going to be like the habits that we keep forever.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll do another Tough Mudder update soon, probably in a couple months. And we'll keep you updated. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.